Stop. Before you scroll past this, I need you to be fully present, not half here, fully here. What's coming is not background content. It is a specific message, and you are going to need every word. You've been carrying something most people around you can't name, a pull towards someone much younger. You've questioned yourself, tried to reason it away, but something inside you wouldn't let it go. You've had the conversation in your head 100 times. You've weighed the years between you like a verdict, and still, that knowing lives in your chest, quiet and certain, regardless of what logic you've thrown at it. In the last few days, an invisible decision was made, not in the physical world, but in the energetic field that connects souls before words even exist. A direction was chosen. It is already moving toward you. You can't see it yet, but some part of you felt it. That's why you're here. You didn't arrive here because of an algorithm. You were called here. The name that keeps returning to the edges of your awareness. That soul has been orienting toward you for longer than you know. And what I'm about to share with you is not meant for everyone watching. It is meant for the chosen soul who already feels what I'm describing before I finish describing it. There's a feeling you carry that you've never fully explained to anyone, a certainty that lives somewhere between your chest and your gut. Not hope, not wishful thinking, certainty, the kind that doesn't need proof because it arrived before proof was even possible. You've probably called it crazy. You've probably told yourself to move on. But that certainty never moved. There's a specific name or a specific face that has come to you at unexpected moments. In the middle of conversations about something else entirely, right before sleep, in the pause after a song. You know exactly which one, and you know it didn't come from nowhere. Something shifted in you approximately 3 to 6 months ago, quietly. You felt it, even if you couldn't explain it to anyone. Something settled, something aligned, like the universe quietly turned a key. For the chosen soul who has someone in mind right now, I want you to stay with this. I know what it's like to carry that specific kind of alone, not lonely from lack of people, lonely from carrying a connection that the people around you don't have a language for, the last conversation replaying at night, the message you drafted and deleted. The silence that started at some point, and the way you've been turning it over, looking for what you missed, wondering if you said the wrong thing or said nothing when you should have spoken. You've been holding this without permission to put it down. And for the chosen soul who doesn't have a name yet, who has been wondering if it's simply too late, if the window closed, if love at this point of life will look like settling, I want you to hear this too. That tiredness you carry is not resignation. It is the exhaustion that comes just before arrival. The love you haven't been able to deliver yet, the depth that has been building without a destination, that is not waste. That is preparation. The difference in age between you and the soul the universe has placed in your path is not the obstacle. It is the design. Two people in the same emotional decade are not always in the same frequency. The universe doesn't align souls by birth year. It aligns souls by depth, by wound, by what each one needs to complete in this lifetime. The younger soul coming toward you is not coming toward your age. They are coming toward your frequency, and yours is one they've been looking for in their own generation and couldn't find. You've almost talked yourself out of this more than once. And yet here you are. If this message is arriving as a confirmation of what your soul already knew, if something inside you just said yes, leave a heart on this video, not for the algorithm. That heart is your spiritual yes, your silent decree that you received what was sent. And I ask the universe right now, may every chosen soul who affirms this today receive clarity in the next 3 nights about the direction they need to take. If you recognized yourself in what I just described, if that pull towards someone much younger has been living in your chest without permission, what you're feeling has a name, and there is a path of revelation already waiting. I prepared something specific for the soul who arrived at this point. Not generic content, a personalized reading built around what your soul is living through right now. It's in the first comment on this video. Pinned. Prepared for the exact moment each soul becomes ready. Here is what most people misunderstand about a connection like this. They see the years between two people and they calculate risk. They run the social math. They imagine the conversations they'd have to have at family dinners. And in doing all of that calculating, they miss the only thing that actually matters, what is actually happening between the two souls. A younger soul doesn't love less. It loves with urgency. It brings the energy that refuses to settle, the hunger that keeps a connection alive. An older soul doesn't love with less depth. It loves with earned certainty, with patience that was hard won, with a capacity for presence that only comes from having lived through the things that teach you what presence actually costs. Together, they complete a frequency that neither could hold alone. That is not a compromise. That is architecture. The silence from the younger person, if there has been silence, is not absence of feeling. It is almost never that. It is the weight of recognition. When a younger soul senses that what they are feeling is real, is serious, is not temporary, it stops them. They go quiet, not because they feel nothing, but because they feel too much and don't yet have the language for what they're carrying. There's a specific detail about this connection, something that seems small to others, that you know was not coincidence. A moment that arrived sideways, without announcement. Something that happened in a way that was too precise to be random. You've held onto it, not obsessively, quietly, as evidence. You've always loved more completely than most people around you understand. And somewhere along the way, you learned to hold that love quietly, to carry it without making noise. That is not a limitation. That is the mark of a soul that knows how to love without performing it. Day, before I tell you what the universe has shown me about this type of connection, I want to give you something you can use tonight. A way to check what you're already feeling against what is actually real. 3 questions. Simple. Honest. Apply them tonight to the person or the connection that came to your mind at the start of this video. First question. When you think of this person, after the initial rush of feeling, after the wave, do you settle into a strange, quiet peace? Or does it stay only as anxiety, confusion, urgency with no stillness underneath? Peace after the wave is the signature of soul recognition. It doesn't feel logical. It feels like remembering. Pure anxiety without any peace beneath it is usually projection. It means the pull is coming from your own need, not from an actual energetic connection with that specific soul. Both are real feelings, only one is soul recognition. Second question, do you think of specific, concrete things, the exact way they said something, a real moment, a particular expression, or do you mostly think of them in an idealized way, in a kind of golden light where they can do no wrong? Specificity is the fingerprint of the real. You cannot invent specific details from imagination alone. Idealization is what we do with desire. It's beautiful, but it's a canvas we painted ourselves. The soul you are meant for will show up in your memory as a specific, sometimes imperfect, completely real human being. Third question, did this connection arrive, or did you engineer it? Meaning, did it find you through a series of events that you didn't arrange, through a path you couldn't have designed, through timing that surprised you? Or did you pursue it actively and create every point of contact yourself? Souls that are destined for each other tend to arrive from the side, not through a frontal approach, not through strategy, through the kind of coincidence that doesn't feel like coincidence at all. If you did all the engineering, that doesn't mean the connection isn't real, but it does mean you have more work to do to know what's actually there. If it arrived on its own, in a way you still don't fully understand? Pay attention to that. Sit with those 3 questions tonight. They will show you something. What I just gave you is real. Use those questions. They will clarify something you've been trying to see. But I have to be honest with you, because I'm not going to mislead you. A tool like that, as real as it is a tool for everyone. It doesn't know your name. It doesn't know their name. It doesn't know what passed between you 2-3 weeks ago. The thing you haven't told anyone. It doesn't know what they're feeling right now, in this exact season of their life. It doesn't tell you when they'll reach out, or if they've already made a decision about you, or what is sitting underneath that silence, if there has been silence. It doesn't tell you why something shifted when it did, or what the next window looks like, or what the specific sign will be when the direction becomes clear. I gave you a compass, but you need the map of your specific territory. You don't need more signs. You need someone to read the signs that are already there. The universe has already done the heavy work. The energetic shift already happened. The direction has already been set. What begins now is not more waiting in the dark. It is the season of seeing clearly, of knowing what they're carrying, of understanding what the silence means, and when it ends, of recognizing the next move before it passes. And to see that clearly, scattered hope is not enough. The chosen soul at this stage of their journey needs what very few people ask for. A personalized revelation built specifically for where they are right now. This is not another video. It is not another generic internet reading. It is not online tarot. It is a revelation prepared specifically for the soul who arrived where you've arrived. Built for the exact phase you're living, not for a mass audience. First, you'll answer a few questions that reveal exactly which phase of your soul journey you're in right now. Not a test, not a quiz. An energetic reading, a way for the person preparing your revelation to understand precisely what you're carrying, so that what they give you back is built for you, not for a generalized situation. Second, from what you share, a specific revelation is prepared for you. If you have someone in mind, it can speak directly to what's happening with that soul right now. Why the silence started if there was silence. What they're feeling in this exact moment when the opening arrives. If you're waiting for someone to arrive rather than someone already in your life, it can show you who is coming, what they carry, how they'll appear, and how you will recognize them when they do. What is right for you depends on where your soul actually is, and the revelation meets you there. Third, you don't receive only the revelation itself. You receive the specific signs to watch for, the markers that tell you when the next step is approaching, so you're not back in the position of wondering if something was a sign or just your imagination. You don't need any background in spirituality for this. No specific faith, no prior practice. This was made for the soul that feels, not the mind that studies. The revelation is pinned in the first comment on this video. Whoever needs it knows they need it. Whoever arrived at this point didn't arrive by accident. The question now isn't whether this is for you. The question is when you say yes. Before this video ends, I want you to do one thing. Write your city and your country in the comments. I'm mapping where the universe is awakening these souls right now, where this quiet gathering of chosen souls is happening across the world. And next to your city, write 3 words. I recognize, I receive. That is the decree. That is your soul saying, out loud in the world, that you received what was sent. And if you know someone who has been carrying something like this in silence, someone who has been waiting and wondering and carrying a love they haven't been able to deliver, share this video with them. Every share is a soul reached. The revelation is still in the first comment. I'm not going anywhere. But I'll tell you this, and you already know it's true. When the universe sends a signal and we wait too long to respond, sometimes the window narrows. Not because the universe stops caring, because the soul that has been waiting gets tired of waiting for our yes. Not every open door stays open forever, not because of punishment, because of timing. The season you're in right now is one of movement, of opening, of yes. You decide when. Tonight, tomorrow morning, next week. The path will still be there, but if something in you is already leaning forward, trust that lean. May the universe continue to conspire in your favor. May your soul recognize what belongs to it, and may what belongs to it find its way home to you. Until the next message.